Hey, thanks so much for joining my video. I just wanted to walk through real quick this cool new utility I made for your CLI, or your terminal, or your command prompt that allows you to interact with GPT and allows you to kind of just quickly get answers and quickly get help without having to go through that nonsense of copying and pasting stuff from terminal into ChatGPT's website and copying it back and all that stuff. Hit up my site, davidlozzi.com, for the blog article on more details on this, and I have a link to my GitHub repo there. I'll put it in the video as well down below that you can see how to set this up on your machine. It does only support Mac as of right now, but I do hope to support Windows soon. All right, let's get to it. So I am in my Git repo. I'm just going to do a quick list here. So this is just a very basic web repo here. And I'm going to just try to do like a git push. I want to push up my changes. And we get this error, right? And I know what this error means. But with LEW, I can just type in LEW and hit enter. And what this is doing is taking that last error message and sending it to the GPT. And it's immediately responding with how to fix that problem. So it's telling me to do a pull and then do a push. You then see it's saying, let me run those commands for you. I don't even have to copy paste or type anything in. I just hit yes, hit enter, and it's going to pull down everything, and now it should have pushed it back up, and everything looks healthy. So now it wants me to do a git status. I'm going to go ahead and hit no here because I don't want it to log anything, but I'm going to hit enter, and I can do a git status and see that everything is up to date. I do have an unchecked out file right now, which is part of the example. We'll talk about that in a moment. And now let's say I do an npmi. I modify the package file, and npmi is just kind of hanging, as you can see, right? It doesn't do anything. I'm going to go ahead and cancel on my keyboard, and now I'm going to say, hey LEW, and we can add a comment to this. I can say, when I run npmi, it just hangs, and I have to cancel it to, I have to cancel it. That's all, right? So we can send a message to LEW along with the previous command. So this is going to send, and now it's going to say npmi is hanging. It recognizes that, and it's giving me steps to take a look at. Check network connection. That is actually what's going on here. My VPN client is blocking the npm, so I know exactly what's going on here. That was a good reminder for me. Oh yeah, network connection. I don't need to do anything else here. But as you can see, it gives me additional options. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that, and we'll turn off the VPN. All right, the VPN is off, and I'm going to do npmi, and we'll see that it's going to, oh, it threw an error. Now this is pretty obvious, right? I do have an extra S in that there, but I'm going to go ahead and say, hey LEW, there's a problem with my package.json file. Can you review it and tell me how to fix it? And now I'm going to do a --cnt. So the count variable here tells the bot how many prompts backwards should this send. By default, it always sends the last prompt in error message, or the last prompt in the output of that prompt. I'm going to say 0. So just for this example, I don't want to send my last error message. I just want to say there's something weird going on my package file. Don't consider any other prompts that I've been working with. So what this is going to do, this is really cool. It's going to say, well, go ahead and give me the contents of the package file. It needs to see its contents, right? So I'm going to go ahead and allow this to run. And it's just a cat command, so this is going to read out the contents of that file. And it does print it on the screen, and then it sends it all there. And as you can see, it picked up that I named the package wrong, which is awesome. So now I can hit yes, and it will uninstall and install and do all the work that I needed to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit no for now. So now let's take a look at another example here. So I'm in the LEW repo that you can download. I'm going to just do a quick ls, check that out. And I could do something like LEW, where can I get started with this code repo? I'm going to go ahead and send that off to it. Check the documentations, right? So this one's pretty basic, but it does know that there's an env sample file, install any dependencies because it sees there's a requirements, right? So it's actually helping me do all that. And what it's doing here next is it wants to read the README file, copy my environment file sample, and then update it and all that. I already have an environment file. I'm not going to run all of these, but as you can see, it's doing all of the work for me. If this was a brand new repo, after you download LEW, you actually have to set it up all manually, so this wouldn't work for LEW's example, but you get it. But I could do something like LEW, read the readme.md and tell me how to set this up. So it wants to read it again. We're going to hit yes. It reads all that, and now it's going to answer the question because it read the file and is going to walk me through that. Now, the README file is pretty clear, but as you can see with this LEW interface, it allows you to kind of get answers, pseudo RAG, right? Retrieval augmented generation. You can feed it whatever content you want in there. Pretty awesome. All right, let's take a look at one other thing. This one I got really excited about. So LEW, let me rephrase that. List all of my S3 buckets in AWS using the AWS command. Oops. Okay, cool. My CD command must have been a typo or something, but that's okay. Regardless, it wants to run AWS S3 LS. So I'm going to hit yes, and it's going to run the command for me. I don't even need to know its syntax, right? So it listed all the buckets, and then I can say LEW, list all the files in the Wordle bucket. Wordle is my Star Wars version of Wordle. As you can see, I do have that bucket right here, starwars.wordle, wordle.starwars.guide, and all I'm mentioning is Wordle bucket, right? The bot's pretty intelligent, so it should pick up the fact that that's my bucket name. There it is. And there's my command to run, and I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, go ahead and run that for me. It's going to run that. It's going to take all that input, feed it back to itself, and there's the contents of everything. LEW. Let's go ahead and please review the robots.txt file, and is it blocking any search engines? So I have not tried this yet, so let's see what this is going to do. So it's going to go ahead and try to read that robots file. So there it is, trying to grab the contents of that file. I'm going to hit yes. Shows it does not block any search engines, and there's the contents of it. Wow, right? Like, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't switch screens. This gets me really excited because we can be so much more efficient with CLI, especially in AWS, right? I can say use AWS and list all of my Dynamo DBs, for example. And I'm going to do CNT0 because I don't want it to know about the history. This is like a whole fresh conversation here. There we go. It's going to run. Make sure you. Okay, so in this example, because it is non-deterministic, every once in a while it doesn't give you the command option, which is a little weird. But I can go ahead and run this myself. Just copy paste. Boom, there we go. And then I can say LEW, how many records are in the let's say user table. And hopefully this will give me the command. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. I can quickly say, cool, it's going to run that for me. Based on the command, there are 2 records in my user Dynamo table. How awesome is that? I didn't have to Google GPT outside of the browser. I am able to interact with AWS real time with GPT and get all of that rich content back. So I hope this was informative. I hope this is something that is really interesting. If you are a developer and interested in contributing, I have a small list of to-do things, like getting this to work on Windows and getting it to work with different terminals. There's a few little things, but it works really well. As you can see here, I was able to walk through a lot of different examples. So please check out the GitHub. The link is below. Check out my blog article for more of the why and some of the use cases and all that stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. Please do leave comments below if you have any questions, or let me know what you think of it. Peace out.